Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Seat won't go down, damn it. Pissing me the hell off. Damn it. Sorry, stupid thing.
That was good for the first 15 seconds. Thank you.
Ratting. And you wonder why I don't want to do this stuff on the week now.
Question is why did you have it so high anyway?
I don't know, and I can't figure out why I won't go back down. Oh, I hate all my damn appurtenances in this place.
Okay, everybody. You get to watch him struggle.
Nope, I ain't doing it. You just have to look up at me. Yeah.
So what you been doing, Donnie?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know how it is.
You could say it. He was playing games.
Right. It's like I haven't seen you guys in forever. It's horrible.
Yeah, you've been hiding.
Everywhere. Well, last week, I did another podcast. It was very interesting talking with other researchers in and around Missouri. So that was really cool, talking about the Paranormal 101 with Paranormal Girls. And it was pretty cool, because we were just getting back down to basics and, talking about where do you start, how do you begin, what's the easiest way, and that sort of thing, and tips and tricks that you should remember. So it was pretty cool.
Okay.
I think because we forget how we all began.
Yeah, because we're all paranormal OGs up in here. Oh,
I know. Yay. We're on to the bigger, better, fancier things.
We are.
And well, sort of. I mean, you have a flare, right? So yeah, okay.
No,
there you go.
I've got no. Don't confuse it with a flare. Please don't confuse it with a flare. This is a HFSF tools, is what this is.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't want flare to come down and sue us, okay?
All right. So if the flare company's watching, I really do need one.
Yeah, can you send out some samples?
Mine's on Android, so send one this way. Any hat retailers? Hey, I need some new hats.
Lord have mercy. What a day. Hi, Moon. How you doing?
Hi, folks in the chat. Hello. Nice to see you.
There is one person who came and did a drive-by earlier, though, before we even got started. I'd just gotten in there, and somebody dropped us a little super chat.
For
whatever reason,
Brian.
Why am I got to shut it? Why do I have to shut it? I don't get this.
I think he already knows. He already knows.
He already knows what? That I'm going to complain about his DNA thing? Yeah, I'm going to do
that. Hi, everybody. We're glad everybody's popping in. We're just kind of wasting a little time till everybody rolls on in. We realize that it's Wednesday, and I don't know. It just seems like a lazy Wednesday to me. So, here it's in between mediocre, warm, and cold. So it's right there. Yeah.
Cold until today. Today it got up to 78 or some crud like that. Tomorrow we're into the 80s. We've got 90s Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah, we're not getting into that till later on in the week. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like, okay, weather. It's enough.
Yeah. I don't want to play no more. Stop it.
Take your meds. We'll be okay.
If you're happy and you know it, it's your meds.
So, Donnie, did you get any of that snowstorm or anything up there where you are at?
Well, people were all scared and everyone went home early from work. And I was like, literally, me and one other guy were like the only people in the office.
Uh-huh.
It turned out not to be as bad. Well, I don't want to say as bad as people thought because some people did lose power, not in my area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That's cool.
Yeah, right. I did lose power for a couple hours. And it was quite amazing because we were fighting, the whole tornado thing. And there were, the wind was just, I thought I was going to lose my roof again. It was just bad. You could hear the house just creaking against the wind and everything. And there was tornadoes bouncing all over, and I couldn't stream a single lick off of anything that I have, any device. And so we did that, and then the next thing you know, a couple hours later, guess what? It started snowing.
Yeah. Believe me, Sunday was nice and pretty and happy, but when we felt that north wind blow in, like, oh, it's here, and it dropped 30 degrees in about 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Well, they were watching it on many weather channels because it was a really cool phenomena that happened. We had 70-degree weather and tornadoes on one side of Missouri, and then the other side we had intermittent blizzard conditions. So they were just watching the sea of green, reds, and everything for the rain and tornadoes and all of this stuff, and the other side was just white and blue. we didn't know what to do that day.
Mm,
Yeah, so I had to turn back on my heat and get everything rolling again. Yeah.
just to turn it off.
I haven't turned it off yet. It is not, it's probably in the 40s maybe right now.
You still got some cool air. We're like I said,
Still
I
got a
sweated all
little
the
bit.
way on. I had turned the heat
Yeah, but
on.
I'm going to turn it off again. So I'm like, okie dokie. All right. So we got everybody in. So
Yep. So far.
anyway, this evening, the big,
There was something came out in the pop culture world that I think will make angry to the people here and the people listening at home. It was almost like a direct attack on us, and that was when they cut the acceptance speech at the Oscars for K-pop Demon Hunters for Best
Yeah,
Animated Picture.
that was a terrible
It was a
thing. That was
travesty.
terrible.
We
Terrible.
K-pop fans all over the world were attacked.
Well, and
Attacked.
if they were speaking English, we'd have been good. But hey, I don't know. I didn't watch it. So.
I'm just kidding, guys. That's not what we're here for.
I
What are we
don't.
here for, Brandy?
Come to think of it, did anybody watch the Oscars at all in this
No,
in
I
this
don't
group?
watch that crap. No.
I did not.
Thank you. Only thing I ever show up for is for the in memoriam, and that's I catch that on YouTube the next day.
I barely know anyone in it anymore. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like I have given a TV. I've given I'll watch movies every now and again, but I don't go to the movies.
If I want to see it and I know about it, yeah, I'll go. But
yeah, basically, I am stuck.
You know what usually happens with me?
Yeah,
I wait until I see what happens with the best picture. Whoever wins best picture, I'll go watch that movie just to see if I really think it deserved it or not. Most of the time, I don't make it through the first 30 minutes of the movie because most of the
Oscars I've watched in the last 20 years was the 20-second clip of Chris Rock getting slapped. I would watch that over and over again.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
Anyway, Brandy, why are we here? And what are we angry about, actually?
Well, yeah, I don't know if we're exactly angry. Maybe a little. I don't know. I don't know. But everybody's heard about this. Anybody who watches anything about Bigfoot knows that they have this new documentary coming out, and they're supposed to.
It premiered actually this last weekend at South by Southwest here in San Antonio or in Austin.
Well, I didn't get to see it, so there's that.
I didn't either. I wasn't going to pay for it to go see it. No.
No. I'm not going to pay to go listen to this stuff.
Trite.
I mean,
trite. I'll say trite.
Yeah, I mean, you can make up your mind about what you feel about the Patterson Gimlin film. Whatever you would like. Now, Randy and I have gone over it and over it and over it. I mean, just so many times that we cannot see where this film would be faked.
No.
So wait, I'm a bit out of the loop. What is this film, and what were they saying? What was their thesis?
The show's called Capturing Bigfoot, and I'm just there. A gentleman named Mark, I think his last name's Evans, if I'm not mistaken. He's a director and documentarian or some crud like that. He's done a few shorts and a few films. In fact, the history of claymation, the Clay Story is what it was called a couple of years back. He did that one, which was not too bad. I mean, I give the guy credit. He's actually a decent little filmmaker. I haven't seen this yet, and I'm not going to say I've seen it, but I'm not going to get superly up in arms about somebody posing a different idea about stuff, obviously. But it's touched a nerve on a lot of people, and it brought all the naysayers out in droves, like the ones that, hell, fake, it's fake, it's fake. It's fake.
So the
And I
movie was
mean it.
claiming that the whole thing was faked.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I
So
shouldn't say it that way. It never says this was a hoax. It,
Oh yeah, no.
the way I understand it, and I'll look at it tomorrow because it comes out on Plex. Anybody that's out there, it comes out on Plex for free tomorrow. I'm going to go out and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to say, okay, this is probably, and this is just my personal opinion, what it's probably going to be is another fluff piece by somebody else who went and got somebody in the Patterson family, which I understand it got the son of Roger Patterson, and everybody knows he's already pissed off at the world anyway. So, I mean, and somehow they've got some sort of footage that has never aired before, quote unquote. Now, I've talked to people that have been in there that inner circle and stuff, and have done all the work with the film before, and they know exactly what stuff they're bringing out. They know what it is, and they're saying it was taken in this time or taken in that time before, and it was a dress rehearsal for Patty, what it was supposed to be. I'll figure that out tomorrow when I'm watching it. I'm not going to make any
Assumption.
assumptions as of yet, because quite frankly, documentaries and fluff pieces like that are a dime a dozen. I mean, they're everywhere. Okay, so what if you believe it's fake? I don't care if you believe it's fake. I might believe it's real. They might. It doesn't matter because we can't debunk or confirm at all. It's impossible. We cannot do it.
No, we can't. Well, there.
Sorry.
I have read a little bit on it.
Mhm.
And they said that this particular piece of film was found. I can't remember what they said. I don't know if it was an accountant's office or something, but it wasn't something that would be secure. You know what I mean? It was found somewhere it shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I think the son had it, and the uncle was the one that was part of it, and that's all. Like I said, it's all hearsay until I actually see the actual
Yeah,
show.
the piece of film was somewhere where it shouldn't have been, where it
Yeah.
was never safe.
Yep.
And honestly, they shouldn't have released that. Period. Even if it is real.
Yeah.
Due to the fact is there is somebody still alive.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean,
Bob's still here.
Bob's the only one still alive now. I put more stock into Bob's take of everything than just about anybody's because he's the only one that was really there still. So I mean,
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. So Mr. Gunlin, his story never has changed after
not one
all
bit.
of these years.
Not one bit.
Never has wavered, never changed, never anything. Okay. So why would they do this? Why wouldn't say Mr. Patterson, like, I don't know, confess on his deathbed? I mean,
Yeah.
why
No idea.
why did he take this to his grave, if you know what I mean?
Now, Gary put a question over here the thing. Main question: how much did the son get paid? He was deep in debt now, and he's now debt free supposedly. Now, I don't know about the debt free and the deep. I do know that both in several interviews, the Patterson's wife has said that movie caused great harm to their family, quote unquote. She didn't say it was fake. She never said it was a hoax. She just said that film itself had caused more harm, especially after Roger died and when he was actually trying to, you know, traipse it around the country to get it shown. You know what I mean? It cost them money. I mean, he never made money off of it.
Do any of us, okay?
No.
Do any of us, even the people on TV portraying investigators, okay?
Mhm.
Do they get paid? No.
Not
This
much
is
as much as you
not,
think they would. Yeah.
yeah, this is not to a get rich scheme.
Mm-mm.
You know, we do this for the love of doing it. It's not, something that we're out here going to make millions on.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm even to the point now, even if you went out there and accidentally hit a Bigfoot and killed it
And carried the body in.
and carried the body in, it would still be gone. The information would be gone, and you
Most
would be
likely.
signing paperwork stating that you would never talk about it again in your life.
Well, if they go have me sign those paperwork, I'm gonna tell you right now, I ain't never paying taxes again, and I'm never gonna have to worry about making a paycheck again either.
Well, I'm sure there will be compensation for you,
Well, there better be if you're gonna
but
take my daggum prize like
you
that.
will not get that fame. You know what I'm saying? You would
No,
not get that fame. I don't care what you say, beyond getting paid. That's not it. It's the point of, if you're investigating, you're not getting paid. And if you
okay,
do it for TV, you're really not getting paid. A lot of these people on TV still retain their daytime job.
yeah, they have
They
to.
take work absences and do these things and then go back to work when they're finished because it does not pay.
Okay,
Like I
Boondock
said,
asks, who's showing and
yeah.
who's telling it? I guess I got the show then, so here we go.
Oh, and Gary made an earlier point. Main question is, how much did the son get paid?
I already
He
showed
was
that one.
deep in debt,
Yeah.
but now debt free. Oh, you already showed that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we showed
Are
this,
you
so that's
not
what we're
listening?
talking about.
I don't think he's
I'm not.
listening.
He wasn't listening.
No, I'm sorry. I'm looking up cyberpunk video game tips. Sorry,
Okay,
guys.
well, focus. Focus, Donnie.
No,
Focus.
actually, I was looking over the synopsis of the movie Capturing Bigfoot, and
Yeah,
I'm actually reading some of these early reviews. Um, there are a lot of these people from like mainstream media that are like, "Damn, slam dunk, we
Yeah,
own those Bigfoot nerds,
yeah.
that's
It's
those weird
it's the
tinfoil."
skeptics to begin
Yeah,
with.
yeah.
Yeah. But see, this film has been analyzed for years.
Yeah.
For years, this has been analyzed. Now, this is not something brand new, spanking new that just popped up.
Well,
This is something that's been talked about for years. There
now,
have been the same. They're not even part of the Bigfoot community. They're part of something else, but it's the same ones that are trying to say that this never happened. It's the same exact people. Same ones.
yeah.
You know, it's not like this is anything new. That's why the Patty film's out there. That's why me and Randy went over it. Well, that's
yeah.
why, so many people have dug into that film and looked at it and said that there's no way that could be a costume. There are so many different things that have went into it over the years. How come all of a sudden, just by something hearsay, oh, well, the son said that something like they burned the costume or whatever they did with it. Why say that now? You've had all the years, since that these people have been gone, except for Bob. I mean, you've had all these people gone for a long time. How come it's just coming out now? Why are we just doing this now?
The price was right. I'm with Pops on that.
I don't know if the price is right, or do they think the price is right? Or could they make money on it? Maybe they're just guessing that this is going to make money. Well, sure. If it's going to make any money at all, it will.
Well, like Boondock says
Only
right
due to
there.
the fact is people are curious, and you're going to have the skeptics that are going to see, I told you so.
Yeah, because like Boondock says, the people you talked about right there, they're doing it. They're the ones you invite out to the woods to go see, and they never come. They never go out there. They never put boots on the ground. I'd almost guarantee you his son, and this is just my personal opinion, I don't know for sure, that I bet money he's never really been out on an actual investigation like that. And I don't even want to call that a true investigation. They were documentary making is what they were doing. They were trying to make a documentary about Bigfoot hunting and such like that. That's
Are
the
you talking about
rumor.
Capturing Bigfoot?
No, I'm talking about the actual Patterson Gimlin film. When they were out there,
Oh,
they were doing that expedition to create a documentary, and the documentary obviously got thrown to the side when he got that 22 seconds or whatever it is of imagery. Everything else fell away.
Jeff Meldrum is in this movie. Oh man.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course they're going to go back to it and talk to him a little bit, because this is, once again, this guy. I don't think the filmmaker himself is the one we're really having to worry about. It's all the naysayers that are jumping on the bandwagon is what it is. Because the way I understand it, they're not analyzing the film again. Really, they're showing this new stuff that was found. and showing how they were prepping like a dress rehearsal. I don't know if they know what year it was made. I don't know if they know what time frame it was made. Uh, Somebody mentioned before that it was made in 1966 because the markings on the film indicate a film strip that was made in 1966. That doesn't mean it was used in 1966. It's just where it was indicated of what the year of manufacture of that film is.
Right.
Now, that I'll have to ask other people that know it a lot better than me to say one way or the other. But again, there are supposedly there's 16 millimeter film out there now, still on pallets somewhere, waiting to be used by people. But obviously, you can't get it. Kodachrome cannot be developed now without special equipment.
It,
Yeah. I don't know.
you would think that sometimes with the money backing some of these people out there in the woods,
Yeah.
that somebody would come up with the funds to do so.
You would
So
think.
that's telling me that there's roadblocks somewhere. And I'm not going to say what, because we all know basically who it is. There are roadblocks for, us normal folk not to get a hold of that.
You're not getting my brain. Forget that.
Exactly. There, like I said, there are roadblocks, so we can't get a hold of any more information. I mean, Moon had said something I saw. It says that's what convinced me it was better than Planet of the Apes with a huge budget. You're dang tootin'.
And I agree. And there are actual video effects artists, and I've sat there and I've talked to a couple of them out there. Because one guy is saying, "Well, Bill Munn says this, Bill Munn says that." Okay, and he's been on all the documentaries with Jeff Meldrum and stuff like that, and doing his thing. Oh, he only worked on 3 movies. He did this, he did that. He's still got a background in it, which is more than what I got. And this other guy's like, "Well, I got a background into it, and we did it this way, and we did it that way." Guarantee you, there ain't I asked him straight out. I said, "How come then, if they was so good at that time, you couldn't even make the mouths on the Planet of the Apes costumes move?"
Right. They barely moved.
Yeah, you could see the actors' lips underneath the other lips.
Right.
I'm
But, and
sorry.
then if you'll notice that their hands were actually their hands, they just had hair and everything covering them
Mhm.
to make them appear
Yeah.
ape-like.
The rest of the bodies were just there.
And right. Yeah, they were under clothing, so you never saw under, you didn't see them like we saw Patty. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. I want to watch it. I mean,
It's getting good reviews
Well, yeah, I mean, it should.
yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong.
because it shed light on the conspiracy theorists and
Yeah.
shows how nutty conspiracy theorists can be.
Now, here's another thing I talked about with guys that were going in and talking about stuff. Here's the biggest question: why?
Why now?
No, not why now. Why would what you're saying about this hoax? Why would he hoax it? Why?
I'm just saying, why now? They've had so much time to do so.
Mhm.
So many years to do this. I think they were just waiting and waiting for the right moment. And now, that Bob Gimlin is a little bit too old to be fighting it.
And
I
so
mean,
is
which
Miss
he
Patterson
could.
too. So is Mrs. Patterson too.
Mrs. Patterson, but Mr. Patterson is gone. They're all gone except for Bob. So Bob is the only one who really can, fight this whole thing. And he's too old to do so now. So, I mean, did they just wait and bide their time until, there was no one left to dispute them?
Now, that brings you another question. We're talking about nobody's around to dispute. Mr. Gilman is no longer. He goes every once in a while, but he's frail and he's old. Okay, but let's think about the surgeon's photo in Loch Ness that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. It was
Mhm.
taken in 1934. It didn't get proved to be a hoax until 1994. Everybody thought it was, but then it was
Was it
proven.
okay?
And I was sitting there thinking, it's like, you know, that's another way of looking at this. Okay, how far away do we need to be before we actually prove it? We
I
can't
mean, was
prove
it a
the other.
hoax or was it just pareidolia? I mean, this is where we've got to go with that one.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we don't know that one. That is a complete pareidolia thing. You know, that's what I'm seeing. You know, I'm
On the
thinking,
surgeon photo.
yes,
Oh no, that was a sub with a thing on top. They
yes.
created that thing, but it was only this big, and he took it real close up.
Well, that's what they say, but do you really know that?
Actually, yeah, the guy that submitted it to the
In 1934,
yeah, but the guy that submitted it originally to the newspaper where it was originally published in 1994 had admitted to it. That's when they found out and they figured out it was completely fake. It showed how they did it.
isn't that kind of what's happening here?
Well, kind of, but it's not the actual person doing it. It's family members supposedly now.
Right.
So, and of course, the guy was obviously had already been caught faking other stuff too. But either way, but anyway, this one though, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm gonna believe it no matter what. I'm gonna believe it's real no matter what. Because you can take that thing apart, you can enhance it, you can do whatever. We've said it on the other show many times. Once you start enhancing and doing stuff to stuff, yeah, it looks pretty and looks good, but you're kind of killing what you're actually got as far as evidence. You know what I mean?
I
And I don't know if that's the case with this one or not, really.
Oh, it's Rob. Hey, Rob.
I
Bravo.
wonder about this. I mean, is this just the first step to them now attacking other people who have evidence? Is this going to, you know,
And
is this
I
going
don't
to
know.
affect future evidence? Because I think they're going to go after that too.
Oh yeah, they've already gone after Paul Freeman's stuff a bunch of times.
Mhm.
We all know they went after Todd Standing, but Todd Standing didn't have the background or didn't have the actual reputation, shall we say, to hold his stuff up under scrutiny. Even Dr. Meldrum had said it in one of the many documentaries that are out there. And when they showed it, he's like, "No, this is a guy. This thing is sitting there, standing there, not doing anything while this person's taking pictures. It doesn't even blink. This is not realistic." And he told him straight out, "It's not real. Just from the habits and behavior of an animal, it's not real."
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this whole thing ticks me off. It just ticks me off. It's just like, why?
It doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter in the whole scheme of things. It really doesn't, because you're never going to convince the people that are true believers that's a fake, and you're never going to convince the people that think it's a fake that it's true.
Well, yeah,
It
and
just,
for Mrs. Patterson to say, "Oh, it brought harm to our family." Eh,
and she wasn't
well,
in this, by the way. This was just from another interview and another
yeah.
documentary.
I mean,
Mm.
isn't
I
that
don't think it was.
anywhere with your spouse has a dream and you try to chase it?
And you
You know what I
suffer
mean?
on the home front. You suffer on the home front from it.
Yes. Do you really? Yes, you do. It doesn't matter
Mhm.
what you do. You know, you build a business, you spend long hours at the business. Who's going to suffer? Your family, because your family's at home waiting on you. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So, but basically, what she's saying causing harm to her family, now it really is, because this is basically saying that her husband hoaxed it, that
Yeah.
he is a liar.
And once again, I don't know that she said that. He is suggesting that, I know, but I don't know if I ever heard somebody say that they truly said hoax in any one of them. Now she did mention that, but this
Well,
one is
yeah,
coming
they're
up
not
the
going
way
to
that
say that. They're not going to
no,
say that, Randy. Dang, they're not going to
they
say that.
shouldn't. I mean,
They're
now,
not going to say that, but they're going to say they faked it
yeah,
because they had a test run.
yeah. Now the
It's the same
uncle,
thing without saying it.
Uncle Al Diardi, I think is the guy's name. Is
Yeah.
he's the one that was supposedly in it for this other bits of footage that they're showing, which they're trying to say is a dress rehearsal for the Patty film. And I'm just like, I don't know so much about that.
Yeah,
Have you seen the footage?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
The new
Yeah,
stuff?
see that.
No. I haven't seen the new stuff yet. No.
That comes out what, tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It like I said, it was shown on at South by Southwest this last weekend, but it comes out on Plex tomorrow. I've got it. I've already got it added my stuff. As soon as it hits, I'm going to try and watch at it and see what it looks like. And I know I'm going to come away with the same feeling I have every time somebody puts one of these together. Okay, some guy went out and grabbed a whole bunch of crap, threw crap against the wall, and see what stuck.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you have to figure out who's backing it, what is making this so large, because this is not the first one that comes out that says that the Patty film may not be real. It's not the first one.
No.
So what is making this one so huge, and what is riling people up so much?
Yeah. So now we're sitting in a different little crossroads. Now, a few years ago, 10, 12 years ago, we had people claiming that there was a massacre at that site, and that things were getting skinned and things were getting doing this.
Yes.
And like, okay, so now we're talking about that. We say, no, that didn't happen. There's nothing that happened like that. Now we're going to the other extreme now.
Yeah.
It's like this thing has caused so many people to have these issues.
But do you remember that when people were saying, "Oh yeah, they massacred all these Bigfoot and blah 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 and da, da. Yeah." Okay, so now those people are going to be wrong.
Yeah, we've already. In fact, one person who did this was on a show with a certain Michigan guy we know and a certain Texas guy we know in the middle of a brunch type thing at one time, and I kept asking, "Show me, show me, show me." It all kept getting pushed off to the side, pushed off to the side. Nah, I ain't playing that game. You're gonna sit there and claim it. Show me. I'm not. I'm claiming that I think it's real, but I can't show you that it's not real because I can't debunk and I cannot confirm either way. I just have my feeling.
Right.
So,
but yeah, I don't. It's just making me wonder where all this information has been completely concealed and hidden for so long.
yeah. Now, Rob made a statement over there, and it's one of the ones I'd heard over the last several days that this stuff is B-roll, is what it was B-roll stuff for the documentary. And I'm like, that makes sense, okay? And we don't know when it was really taken. We don't know what was going on with it. So it makes sense. It really does. So until I see it, I won't know for sure, obviously. And I'd like to see,
Are you open-minded enough to be like, after watching it, be like, you know what? I think it was hoaxed.
Yeah, if it would convince me, but there's no way. I just don't think there's any way it can convince me. Because I've seen a couple of the stills, and I'm like, no, that don't even look right. What the heck?
It's not the same.
No, it's just a little bit different. If you look at it, there's a little bit difference.
And there's, honestly, unless we had the film in hand and be able to analyze when the film was taken, what year it came out, all of that other kind of stuff, we won't know the truth. You can show us to the moon and back. We've talked about this several times about, AI and all this reproduction and stuff and how you can recreate all of these things. Unless you have the original footage in hand, you can't say one way or another.
Yeah. And,
you can't.
We've all watched all the documentaries on this thing. You remember the one where they were there? It was one I can't remember, but they had all those experts in that round table thing with Dr. Meldrum, a couple of special effects guys, anatomists and scientists and stuff, all looking at this one figure going across there and analyzing it and looking at it with a fine-tooth comb, trying to see what and not a single one. There one or a couple say, I think it could be somebody in a suit. But he's like, I can't explain this. The other one's like, I think it's real, but I can't explain this. So the whole thing, they could contradict themselves because they don't know enough. Unfortunately, that's just all they have to work with.
Yeah. I mean, but to me, this is my bottom line on the whole thing. I don't care if it's real or if it's not. It'll be sad if it's not real.
I got one
But
thing to say here, right here,
but
real
I
quick. Free your mind. I need you to go out there and tell Sir Brian to do the same thing he told me. Shut it.
Sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
so my bottom line is I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen one. I've seen
Yeah.
one close. You're not
And
going to tell me they're not real.
exactly.
This footage may not be real, but I know what I saw. And I'm not here to make anybody believe it. I don't care if anyone believes it. I know what I saw. I have other witnesses that believe it too. So I know that there's probably about 11 other people on this earth that know what I experienced was real.
Exactly.
That's all that matters to me.
Exactly.
I don't care about anything else.
And it doesn't even matter if if you, God forbid, you're gone and you're at the pearly gates and all knowledge is brought onto you, and it tells you, hey, that was actual hoax or something, and then you turn around and say, well, they're real though because I saw one. Yes, they are real, but that particular spot was a hoax.
Yeah.
But
I
that
mean,
would be, you'd have to be going through those pearly gates to know that for sure, though, because we can't know.
yeah. Yeah, and as much as we looked at what we have available to us today on with film and all of that, when we've looked at it and relooked, I mean, we spent forever
Hmm.
on this film. And we kept watching for ripples in a costume or, anything that would suggest that this was not real, you know, because you walk in a costume, of course, you're going to get unusual folds and things in the
Yeah,
costume where
yeah.
they just don't flow with the body, that sort of thing.
Hmm.
That's the first thing. The second thing is the walk. The walk was the other thing. Um, it had a walk that I've never seen a human do before in my life
Yeah.
because they can't. It's physically impossible.
They said they had one person, and this was even Meldrum admitted this later on, that there was one athlete, and it was a true blue athlete that was able to pull that quote unquote style walk off with the bent knees and such like that for 22 seconds with the poundage that it supposedly had. And he said that dude was smoked by the time he finished. It had muscles that he never used before, really, because of the way they were walking. And he was like, the guy was wore out just after 20 seconds of walking like that. So that thing did not slow down. It didn't get wore
It
out.
didn't tire out. It kept
No,
moving.
it kept on going.
It kept going. And so I don't know. I mean, yeah, there was one person in this world that could do that, which they probably mimicked really well, but just didn't. I mean, they couldn't get
Yeah,
it 100% spot on.
yeah.
Um,
There's been a bunch of them to do that. I mean, it's really close,
yeah,
but just not there.
yeah, and
So
carry on that way.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. A lot of this is, I don't. I want to watch it, but then again, I don't because I feel that if I'm gonna watch it, I'm gonna get mad. Only because Randy and I do review footage all the time.
mhm,
We're always looking at this stuff, and then what they're gonna show me, I know is gonna be just crap.
yeah. I mean, B-roll in 1966, 67, 68 time frame is just that crap. It's stuff
Yeah,
you're piecing together to throw in the backside of a documentary.
right.
I don't.
And it's probably not gonna be as great of film. It's not,
Yeah, we just don't
and,
know.
and and who's to say it was taken then? I mean, how are we supposed to know as,
I don't
the
know.
viewers of this documentary that what you're giving us is true? What if you're the one that doesn't have the truth?
Yeah, and I'm not going to hold it against the documentarian. I mean, obviously,
No,
he's going with
no,
what he's
because
got.
if he's fed lies, well, then that's what it is.
And I bet
You
money
know,
he even asked the question of his viewers, say, "Do you believe or don't you? This is for you to decide." That's what he's going to do. I'd bet money that's what
I bet money, because he can't say whether it is or it isn't. He can't
Yeah.
100%, validate what he's been given. He can only just say, well, this is what I got. What do you think?
Yeah.
So what I read of the film, it doesn't seem like it's even per se about Bigfoot. It's more about Patterson and Gimlin themselves.
Yeah, about their families.
That's what it's all
too.
about. That's what it's all about. Them faking it, not faking it. I shouldn't say that.
It's about them themselves, actually, and how they came about and stuff. Yeah, that's the way I understood it, because a lot of this.
How does it turn into, the Four Horsemen? Okay. How does it turn into them and then turn into this being not real?
Like I said, that one bit that they're presenting.
Well, it's not saying that Bigfoot is fake. It's saying that particular footage by those two particular.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why?
Done in bad faith.
Yeah, but like I said, this is not the first time somebody has attacked the film. No, it's not the first time.
Not one bit.
Not one bit. So I don't think that anybody should be really super upset out there, because this is not going to be changing your beliefs. It's the same thing over and over and over again. They just may have something a little new to show you, and it's probably not going to be that great.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you believe, you believe. Period. No matter what. And I'm going to quote Uncle Hub again.
How could you start off by doing a documentary about two people and then defaming them?
I'll wait until I see it tomorrow.
You got to watch it first before you can decide it's defaming them.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know if I'll be mad at the guy doing it, or I'll be more mad at the people he's interviewing. That's who I'd be mad at.
This is where I'm standing firm. If they're saying that that they had a dress rehearsal for it, what are they saying? They're not saying that this is real.
No.
You know what I'm saying? If they had a dress rehearsal, is that what they're saying?
I wouldn't. Actually,
read between the lines
about those kinds of things until you got to watch. You really have to watch it first. Because
it
depends on the footage itself and the way it's presented, and there's a whole lot of context that could be misinterpreted one way or the other. I mean, these kinds of documentaries, you really have to watch with an open mind, and then after seeing it, decide whether or not it's, because you have to understand if it's bad faith, that's a whole other thing. You don't know if the filmmakers are believing what they're claiming or not. Maybe if the filmmaker believes it's a hoax, if they're convinced, I was reading the background to it. Apparently the guy who wrote and directed it, he received this footage back in 2024. This film was being filmed from 2024 to 2025. Jeff Meldrum was in it, so this was 2024 when this was being filmed. I haven't seen the film.
I want to see it. That's the reason I want to see it.
Why would this particular person receive this information? Why wouldn't it be something else? Why wouldn't it be a network? Why wouldn't it be something bigger?
I don't know, but I cannot, like I said, I cannot assume bad faith, because I just don't know the particular details. They'll probably even go over it in the movie itself, how he came about it. But
I will, like I said, I would pull it against the people he's interviewing more than I'd hold it against him.
Yeah, I just don't have enough information to make the judgment call either way.
And that's why I want to watch it. I'm going to watch it. I'm not going to boycott it like several of them have said out there, because it's not going to sway my opinion either way. I've seen too many documentaries like this to do that. So
I don't know, guys. I don't think it's even something that I'm interested in watching. Just due to the fact that this has been done so many times that I am literally tired of it. This is, like I said, it's not the first time. It's like they continually attack something that they don't understand.
Yeah. I get it.
And why would a guy who has done documentaries, or short documentaries on claymation?
Well, that was a full length. Then what I understand is pretty good.
Whatever.
That's don't talk about those California raisins.
I'm not saying he was bad. I'm just saying on something that has nothing to do with the cryptid community whatsoever.
Yeah.
Why would he attempt that with minor knowledge.
I don't know, but honestly,
I don't know.
I know this one's augmented, but how can you look at this and just not know?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, because we zoomed in on it, we've looked at it,
Yep.
we've done everything that we could with this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and cannot see anything that would suggest that this right here is a suit.
Yeah, and I haven't, like I said, I haven't. This is one of the ones we used on the other show. It's been quote unquote enhanced to a certain extent, but not as enhanced as some of the others have been. So
My other
yeah,
thing is why would they make it female?
yeah, I never
Wouldn't it
understood
been
that either.
easy? Yeah. Wouldn't it been easier to make it a male?
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean, there's supposedly drawings that Roger Patterson did of this thing with boobs. I don't, for lack of a better word, and he wrote it down there. He actually
Yeah,
supposedly
well, they
wrote it on
named
this
it
thing.
Pattern for a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
That's what I said. I don't understand why they would make it a female, because wouldn't that make it harder to make as a costume or a suit versus just doing the male, just the regular chest?
yeah, don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. Nobody would have thought of that.
I mean, we can go with the, I don't know, the extra appendage, that would have been a little bit more difficult to fake.
That'd have made Donnie happy.
I mean, they could have, maybe that was the problem. But then again, once you get into it, doing the female anatomy would have been just as difficult. I don't,
I don't know.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't want to
know.
not give it a chance for obviously I want to hear what they have to say and what they present. Now, whether what they present is feasible in the first place is another story. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
if
I
you
don't know,
was
guys. I'm to the point where I'm really just sick of the whole thing. I'm really just tired of it. I'm
oh,
tired of hearing about it. Years and years and years of this. This is just another stab.
yeah,
And it's just kind of like, okay, so now we're gonna wait till everybody, is dead or almost,
yeah,
almost gone, you know, and start this mess.
well, yeah.
Really?
And, hey, and you
It's
know what you get out on
disrespectful.
Facebook, on social media. What do you get? For lack of a better term, I'm not going to say it, but the S house lawyers that are out there, and the people that think they're the second coming of the greatest archaeologists in the world type thing.
Yeah.
They all have. Oh, well, I knew this from the get go. Why have we never heard your name then? Why have we never even seen you? Why do we even listen to you? Because you're out here behind your keyboard. You've never actually been on the ground. Go out and ask Ron Murphy. Go out and ask Ron, Moorhead. Go ask them guys. They're probably the closest to the quote unquote experts that we've got left now. With
Oh
Meldrum
my gosh,
gone,
I'm surprised they haven't tagged him yet.
oh, he just made up those voices he recorded. Give me a
I tell
break.
you what, I've met the man several times, and I've been out in the woods with him, sat around a campfire with him. If anybody attacked him, I'd be the first one to jump.
Oh well, yeah,
The
you and
first one to jump.
man. I met him. Wasn't he was at the Dogman conference,
Yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there.
and that was the nicest man you'd ever. It probably exactly the same way Mr. Gimlin is. It they're just as nice as it can be. Why would anybody want to attack them on stuff that they just present and say, "Hey, here it is. You make your own decision." They never said yes, no, or whatever. He said,
Yeah,
"This is what we saw. This is what it is. I'm not trying to convince you. I don't have to convince you. You have to convince yourself."
yeah, yeah. I guess I'll watch it. I'll watch it as much as I can.
Yeah,
Um, if I get through it, I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a miracle, because these documentaries I have a hard time getting through.
yeah, I'm with you.
Just saying, because they're to me, it's kind of like dry information. It's not giving me anything. So it's just like it's not necessarily boring, but I'm just not into it. I'm not getting anything from it.
Yeah,
But I will try. I will try to keep an open mind about it, but it's hard not going into this thinking, hey, this is just somebody else attacking. This is just another ploy
Yep.
to drum up drama, to, start, this whole fight in the community again, because, we've always had a rift in this community, and we cannot come together if we've got things like
Oh
this
no,
going on.
no, not one bit.
You
And
know, we can't. I mean, we've got the people that are, of course, on the flesh and blood side, and then we have the woo side. Okay, what is it called, the
Mhm.
woo side? But it's not necessarily all that. Okay, it's not 1,000% woo. Okay, so we already have the divide. We already have the divide.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be what, another, divide in between more camps? Is this what's happening? I mean, are we just gonna, start infighting? I don't get it.
They ain't gonna be infighting with me. I'll tell you that right now, because I'm just gonna tell them straight out. I don't want to hear you. I mean, you can sit there, you can present your argument in a calm way, but if you come out immediately starts calling somebody stupid because they don't believe the way you believe, yeah, then we're gonna have issues.
I don't know. I
That's
mean,
not being divided. That's being an asshole. Excuse my language.
I mean, it's not all that. It's just that's why it's just weird that somebody is starting to ramp up something else that they really didn't need to. Now, everybody has gotten from the Patty film what they needed to.
Hmm.
Okay. The
Yeah.
information is out. There it is.
Yeah.
There is no reason to go in there and try to do anything else with this film. We've got everything that we needed out of it. It's just out there as a reminder of everything that we're looking for out there when we go into the woods every single time. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the mascot. It's the
Yeah.
mascot of Bigfoot. It's Patty. You say Patty and Bigfoot, everybody knows.
Speaking of Patty, little Patty says, "What happened to agree on disagreeing?" Patty, we do that all the time. Me and Brandy have agreed to disagree on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But we're talking about the camp, the
Yeah.
camps and the cryptid community. Well,
Yeah.
it's just like everything else, the paranormal community, everything, even the alien, side of things. There is two sides to everything, if not three or four. Um,
Yeah. Yep.
Everybody has their own belief system, and unfortunately, you can't just have an open mind. You have to be on one side or the other.
Yeah.
Um,
There's no middle of the road. Just like our politics nowadays. There ain't no middle of the road. Left or
no,
right.
no middle of the
One way or the other.
road.
So,
And
but
and I would like to think that we here on this channel are middle of the road. We believe that, Bigfoot is a little bit of both. It's a little bit of flesh, it's a little bit of woo. It's all there. I mean, the evidence that I've, come across, that I've seen, the encounters that I've heard, all suggest that there is something just a little bit more than just an
yeah.
animal.
Thanks, PNW.
Thank you.
Patty lives.
Patty lives. That's what we need to put we need to put that up here. Patty lives.
I probably should
I
have
don't
put
care.
that on the instead of Bigfoot up there at the show and tell you Patty lives.
We need to make t-shirts like that. Patty lives. That's it. I don't
And
know.
I'll test it on wood blocks too. I may make some.
I don't know. What I mean, Donnie.
Okay, can I offer my 2 cents?
Yes, that's what I was
Sure.
going to say. Donnie, what's your 2 cents? I mean, because Randy and I are used to this because, we get heated at each other pretty much all the time.
Oh yeah.
And it's on Truth or Tinfoil. So, they don't really see it on this show. And so you come on in and tell us what you think.
Okay, because I came in this whole scene kind of almost by accident. I kind of stumbled into the whole thing. So I wasn't particularly inspired by the Patterson Gimlin film to gain interest in Bigfoot. That was
Mhm.
more incidental than anything. For me personally, I couldn't care less if the Patterson Gimlin film was real or not, because
Yeah.
that's not why I'm here. Also, I think ultimately at the end of the day, it's a total and utter fool's errand to try to prove that paranormal or cryptical stuff exists via video, recording, or pictures to non-believers. You're just wasting your time. Unless you have an actual body, you are wasting your time. You're not going to convince anyone. It would be like this, okay? I came up with the perfect analogy. Let's say if you were a Christian, right? And a non-Christian or like someone of another religion came up to you and said, I don't think your religion's legit because I don't think Jesus existed. There was no evidence of Jesus existing. And now you dedicate your whole life into proving that Jesus actually existed.
Yeah.
Right? What are you doing that for? Are you trying to convince non-believers through the proof that you gained that oh my God, Jesus rose, maybe I'm going to be a Christian now. That's never going to happen. No matter what proof you give of Jesus existing, it's not going to convince anyone who's already made up their minds. So stop wasting your time. Same thing with the opposite. Let's say you go to a Christian person and say, hey, Jesus never existed. There's no actual archaeological or historical evidence that he was an actual person.
Yeah.
You're not going to make a person change their mind and stop being a Christian.
No.
It's never going to happen because Christians have their own personal experiences with Jesus. They have their own personal relationship that no amount of evidence in the world is going to convince them of, and vice versa with non-believers. This whole, like, ever since I got into this whole scene, people would be like, hey, did you look at this picture with like this red circle and this little spot here? I'm like,
hey,
it's not
make fun of red circle.
The first reaction is either, oh, it's pareidolia, or oh, it's convincing. I'm like, why are you even showing this? This is a waste of time.
Yeah.
You're either going to show it to someone who already believes, at which point you're preaching to the choir, or you're going to show it to a non-believer who's not going to be convinced because they're going to say it's either pareidolia or that's fake. You can have the most obvious proof. You can have Bigfoot straight up walks right up to a trail cam, up to its face, face up against the camera.
Yeah.
And then you show that, you go up on the news and show that to people, we're going to say, oh, it's fake. Because at the end of the day, the more real Bigfoot appears, the more convinced people are going to be it's fake. And if you go the opposite end, it's going to be like a dark spot behind a bush with a red circle. Then they're going to say pareidolia. There's no winning.
Yep.
There's no convincing anyone. Because at the end of the day, people have already made up their minds. You're trying to what? Gain all this evidence to prove to the world disclosure? Unless you got a straight up body or Bigfoot in the cage, you are wasting your time.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, Big Patterson Gimlin film being really real or not, I honestly just don't give a crap. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't have nothing to do with price of tea in China, does it?
If you don't have a body, who cares?
Exactly.
You're not convincing anyone.
I'm with you on that.
I may or may not have said this, that if I ever saw a Bigfoot, I'm going to need a new car. Because I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it.
There was a time when people didn't think killer whales.
I don't want to hurt them, but by golly, they hide too much. But this is the only way that is going to prove anything, is that you're going to have straight up DNA. Straight up DNA. And they may have it already. And they may have it already. And they're not releasing that information. Now we've learned that before. And it's slowly coming out little by little. It'll probably be another 50 years before we hear anything else. But yes, the DNA and all of that. So I mean, you're straight up not going to find anything without a body. You're not
going to convince anyone, no matter what picture. Okay.
No.
To prove my point, or to illustrate my point, I actually prepared a couple pictures here. Okay. Now, hold on. Ghosts, right? We look at ghost pictures all the time. And ghosts, I would say, is like the most impossible thing to prove, just because the ethereal nature of ghosts themselves, right? Hold on, my phone is acting silly. I'm trying to upload these pictures. I had them prepared before the show. Damn you, technology. How dare you get in the way of me making my point?
Oops.
Stupid tech.
Yeah. Anyway, so go ahead.
Hold on. Are you serious?
Is it over 200 gigs?
Oh no. Go amongst yourselves, guys. I gotta.
Okay. Well, so anyway, Andrew says MK Davis cleaned up the patty film, and you can see a human-like face even.
Yep. He did the
Well, yeah.
stabilization on it. He didn't do the actual enhancement per se, though.
Well, and that doesn't even matter to me. You know
Yeah.
why it doesn't matter to me?
Yeah.
Because they're saying that these creatures have some type of human DNA. So why would it not look like human, or not necessarily human? Because I've been reading other things, and Neanderthals and Denisovians and subspecies and intermingling between species, and would they appear to have a human-esque appearance? Yes. Yes.
Can't tell you that, but
But
just
would they?
so just
Yes.
so we can see this, here's the stabilized clip. Now, that stabilization is one of the best I've ever seen, obviously. Of course, this is another thing of why we were talking about earlier. Why? If you're setting this up as a hoax, why are you going to say the horse got throws you? Why are you going to say have all this issue of running with the camera? And why wouldn't you just be set up ready to film it like you were standing there with it? He is
Right.
excited and running. You can hear the man when you
Yeah.
can't hear it really, but you can tell he's excited when he starts running after it.
Well,
So
the other thing that I want to talk about is that stabilization. That does also take out some of how Patty's real movements are. That is
Yeah.
not
not the greatest. No.
close. It's close, but it is not
Yeah.
exactly how Patty moved through there. So don't take that as,
No.
what
That
it
was
would.
just
That's
yeah.
just kind of, once you start messing with anything, we'll tell you, film, audio, video, pictures, anything. Once you start messing with all that stuff, you kind of lose some of the integrity. So I
Well,
just
yeah.
want to throw that in there.
And you remember
Oh,
when
you
we
know what? That was my mistake. Actually, I was looking at the wrong file type. Whoops.
Oh,
I'm an
good
idiot.
Lord.
I am a raging moron.
Go, Donnie, go.
Continue.
It's not the technology.
It's an education.
It's education.
I was looking. It was looking. Yeah, I had it looking for video files. I was like, "Why are my pictures not loading? Why is this so stupid?" And I'm like, "No, I'm the stupid one. It is me."
Operator error.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me give you a little bit of illustration, right? Let's talk about ghosts, okay? Usually people say, I've got the definitive picture of a ghost straight up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they showed a picture, and what lo and behold, what is it? It's like a smudge or like a mist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, this picture, and then what do people obviously they're going to say, this is pareidolia, right? Or it's some trickery of lighting, or it's some photo editing.
Yeah.
Now, so this is the most definitive picture of a ghost, straight up, because there's no pareidolia. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Kabuli, girl in the background. According to the people who posted this picture, that girl in the background is not supposed to be there. Bam! That
Yeah.
is definitely a ghost. That's definitely not a smudge. That's not some trickery. That is a straight up ghost, 100% lock stock, right? Now, what's the problem? Why is this not going to be the smoking gun? Because at the end of the day, people are just going to be like, no, that's
It's
just a
fake.
regular girl in the background.
Yeah, it's fake.
Not even
It's
fake. It's just a regular girl in the background.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
it could be the most realistic thing, but as soon as it gets so realistic that it's no longer pareidolia, it's just a person.
Yeah, a person, or it was fake. One of the two. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Right?
Now I'm looking at that now. Honestly, I missed that one before because I thought I'd seen this one before. Maybe I did it way early on in the show, but it's a picture of a picture. I can tell you that right now.
You wouldn't even need to fake it. You just have a girl stand in the background and then just
and take it to where her face is grayed out somewhat and just work on it. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't take much.
Well, I will tell you what the problem is with this picture right now. It's because if this were true, which I'm not saying anything because I wasn't there, I don't know. But this is a full-bodied, full-colored apparition. Those are very hard to distinguish and prove through video and, film. They're very difficult because they look like you and I.
Right.
Now, when you have something more that has that ethereal type look to it, that ghostly type image.
Yeah.
Oh, let me take that off. Ghostly type image.
Yeah.
That's going to be easier. Okay. That's going to be like, wow, the girl see through, that's a something, because I have a perfect picture of that. It's my 1 in a million shot. I have a full-bodied apparition, full color, and then I have that ghostly white-looking type entity in the same picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it really goes to show you that it would be hard to depict if I just had the one there
Mm-hmm.
versus having the other. It shows you two different manifestations. But like I said, if it looks ghostly, people have a more of a tendency to believe that versus a full-bodied apparition. Now,
Right.
I had seen a picture of a cell block in a prison, and I had actually seen the picture up close, the original, and there is a prisoner, I think it's like a second or third tier up, okay, in actual prison garb. And there was nobody in the prison. It was a non-working prison.
Wow.
So when I saw that, that kind of made me turn and check it out a little bit, because when you do these ghost investigation things like that, people will not dress up in period clothing. They will not dress up, to make you believe they're part of the, the ambiance or whatever. They just won't do that, because when you go in for a ghost investigation, they want you to make sure that what you're catching is for real. So they won't do that.
Yeah.
Most of your organizations will have on a t-shirt, sweatshirt, or something saying, yeah, we're part of the group. We're here, as the event coordinators, whatever. But they will not have people dress up in period clothing just to make you believe this.
No.
So, I mean, but like I'm saying, it's very difficult when you have a full-bodied apparition to say, hey, that is a ghost or not a ghost, because people are always going to say it's not a ghost because it looks so real.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just looks like a person in the background.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Right.
it. That's
Like
exactly
this
it.
one just looks like just straight up just a girl in the background.
Yeah.
Like,
Kid in the background. Yeah.
yeah. That's like
I agree
the
with you.
older sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to take a look at that picture, if you look, and I'm assuming that's the mother, okay, and I'm assuming that's her child, but the other child does not look like the other one. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but don't they look like pigtails that she's got kind of falling behind her there?
Yeah, something. I don't know.
And it looks like you can see legs down at the bottom too. So
What do people in chat think? What do you guys in the chat think, folks? Does this look like a ghost picture, or does this look like just a regular girl in the background? I mean,
Yeah,
they're
I
saying
can't
that this
say.
is the smoking gun of ghost pictures, but
who said that?
the internet, they,
Yeah, they.
all caps.
Yeah.
They got my verdict.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't there, and a lot of this is Randy and I can debunk a lot of stuff just by what they say when they caption the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's kind of funny. If you join us on Sundays, you would see what we're talking about, because people will try to explain too much
Mhm.
of the picture, or they'll try to give us a backstory about who it could be or this or that, but we don't know who it could be.
Mhm.
We're only guessing. The paranormal is a weird community, because it's like you can't say that is Anne or John or whomever, because you're only guessing.
Very true.
Unless they appear to you right in front of you as that person, and that's not even to say that would be real or not, because we always
Right.
talk about them appearing to you as anything as you want them to be.
Yeah.
So it is questionable. I mean, the paranormal is very, very difficult to maneuver through, especially in evidence. But I don't know. I mean, it seems like the cryptid world is a lot of the same.
Yeah.
It's very hard to distinguish sometimes. I mean, a lot of it you can tell straight up that it's AI.
Mhm.
A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A lot of it you can tell that, yeah, it's definitely a suit. A or it's a person walking through there. I mean, you definitely could tell them.
Let me show you another quick picture. You tell me what you think, okay? This is actually a meme that I made a while back. Actually, why don't we play it for old time's sake?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Donnie Cho, meme of the week.
All right, you guys remember this one I did back in the day?
Yep.
Breaking news. First selfie with Bigfoot achieved. Japanese tourist does the unthinkable. Bigfoot nerds everywhere are sad. Now, the reason why I bring this one up is obviously this is a joke. This, I made this as a meme. But what if, guys, what if this picture really just came out of a full-on picture of Bigfoot and someone just straight up just takes a selfie with it, right? And they say, bam, there's no faking it, no pareidolia, no nothing. Here it is, a full frontal picture of Bigfoot, close up. What's everyone's immediate reaction going to be? Oh, it's a guy in a suit. It's a guy
between
in a suit.
Between that and just why don't you have any DNA from it? Why didn't you get anything else from it? That kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, you were standing right there with it. Why didn't you get anything?
My point is, the more convincing the evidence is going to be, the more convinced people who are not Bigfoot believers to begin with, the more convinced they are going to be that it's just a guy in a suit or in some makeup.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's no winning unless you have a Bigfoot actually in a cage or a Bigfoot body. There's no.
And you're 100% right. I mean, honestly, we could take pictures. We could go out and have a sing kumbaya with them and everything.
Yeah.
And get
You're
videos
not going to bring about disclosure because of some picture you took in the woods.
I mean, if that's the case, Jack's links would have been, the thing, from the get go.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, actually, there was a Small Town Monsters did a little thing. I think it was in the last few days. They dropped a Beyond the Trail thing, and they were talking to a lady in Oklahoma, and this guy was telling her, "Hey, I saw Jack's links," and she didn't dawn on her what he was talking about. Yeah, I saw Jack's links on my property. Huh? What the hell are you talking about? It took her a while to remember. Oh, Jack's links. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be very difficult to determine. I mean, you're right, Donnie. Everybody's just going to have to make up their own mind on what they choose to believe with this documentary. But with all the information that I have stored away these years, it's going to be hard pressed to believe it. That's just on me, because I'm like, why now? Why did it take so long? How come, this is just now coming out? What are the circumstances? Well, again, like what was said before, was money involved? Where are we going with it? I mean, it's just kind of like, it's been done before. People have attacked it before. So is this going to be really any different, except maybe a smidgen of a new view?
Yeah.
And is it real? I mean, we don't know. We're just going by what this person tells us from their point of view.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we're just going to have to leave it up to whatever's given,
Can I tell you the most convincing for me personally, the most convincing photo I ever saw with my own eyes? Actually, Brandy, you were there that night. This was a few years back. We were in, I believe it was in Alabama. After the first day of the conference, it was, I believe you were there. Tex was there.
Randy was there.
No,
I don't think Randy was there that particular trip.
I was there the year before.
We were there with Ogles. Ogles was there.
Yeah.
I was with Jason. Ryan was there. Anyway, so I'm at the bar getting some drinks. Jason comes up to me all wide-eyed. He's like, Donnie, you got to look at this. And it's this girl that we met at the conference. I don't even remember her name. She was just like, I think she was like a friend of Greg's, but she was just there from the conference. And then Jason's like, hey, Donnie, look at this. So he grabs her phone. He's like, show Donnie what you showed me. And it's a picture of this girl's like horse, right? She had like a horse ranch. And they're just flipping through pictures. And in one of the pictures in the background, there was a picture of a terror bird.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, right? Do you remember that night? You were
Yes,
there.
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
I remember to look in Jason's face. He was just like flabbergasted. And I was like, holy, yo, that's a terror bird, right? But here's the thing. I can't then take that picture and go put it on podcast or present it because for me, it was convincing for me because I was meeting that girl in person. I knew who it came from,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? I can't just then go out in public and go on podcasts or talk shows and be like, look at this picture because no one's going to believe it because they don't know the girl.
Yeah.
Right.
They don't know who it's coming from,
And
right?
she isn't there to tell a story anyway.
And if I didn't
Well,
know any context or any background to that story, I'm going to look at that picture and be like, yo, that thing's fake.
and I mean, I'm telling you, this picture was really something
Yeah.
because we looked at that picture probably all weekend long
But we
and
knew the
kept going back
context
to it
behind it,
and going back
right?
to it and looking at it
Yeah.
because it
But
came
you
right off her phone.
but you can't just show that, like, publicly to a random person. That's not gonna convince anybody. Because if
No,
you just showed it without any context and just put it up, people are gonna be like, "Nah." If you showed it on an episode Truth or Tinfoil without knowing any background around it, do you think you would
Yeah.
be impressed by it?
No, probably not. Like a lot of them that I put up there.
Probably
Like
not, right?
we've gone back on some that we did
Yeah.
early on in the show and dismissed, found background information on it, put it back up there, and it changed the entire outlook of the
Yeah.
yes,
of the
we
actual
have done that,
evidence.
and now Randy and I have, like he just said, when we found out more evidence from it, now we'll backtrack and we'll say, yeah, we're sorry, but yeah, this is this is a good catch.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is something that we didn't know at the time because what we're doing is we're just taking the stuff right that people are presenting on the internet and then we're just showcasing it. Because we have nothing other evidence with it. So
Yeah.
Right.
everything that we're analyzing is what we've gotten right there. We haven't talked to whoever took the picture. We didn't talk to anybody that was there. It was just that piece of
There's no
evidence.
way to, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to watch this documentary. I'm gonna try to do it. I mean, like I said, it's tough for me. It's really tough. Not that Patty was the reason why I got into it. That is not the reason why. But there are people that have stated, "Hey, I saw that Patty film and that really got me interested." That's what first got me into it was seeing that piece of footage. I mean, are they going to be disappointed if it is not real? Yeah, because they're gonna believe that their whole existence and everything that they're doing is been for nothing.
But we
But
talked about this before. We
I'm
talked
here to
about
tell
this.
you, it's not for nothing. I've seen them. I know they're
Yeah.
real. If that piece of footage, that piece of evidence is not real, don't give up. They're there.
But we talked
Yeah.
about this once before where we talked about people with, hey, something that somebody from your past or from an actor, somebody was saying something about these actors dying, nobody gives a crap about them. No, when an actor dies, a piece of somebody's heart that they grew up with died with it. It's the same
Yeah,
thing with this. This is something that I watched on In Search Of. That thing was covered on In Search Of a few times.
right.
And if it's proven to be a hoax or something set up or whatever, it would take a little piece of the heart that we had in it before with it. It would be like your childhood was screwed up because you believed it and now part of it is gone.
Yeah. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, so if this was shown on In Search Of, okay,
Oh yeah.
that's the biggest show of the kind. That's the biggest
Exactly.
that there was
There was no other.
these unknown species.
Yeah.
And if they could have found it to be some type of shenanigans, let's just put shenanigans in there.
Yep.
That's just good. If it was a shenanigan,
Yeah.
they would have sniffed that out automatically.
You would have
They
thought.
would have known at the time.
Yeah. And there was some people there when they were doing it, they actually the dude that said he was the cowboy dude that said he was in the costume or whatever at the time. They actually gave him equal time at the time when they did that one episode and talked about how he could have been. He said he was in it or whatever, but they come right back and says, but the proportions don't match up according to our scientists. And they
Right.
had John Bindernagel and Grover Krantz both there on that one
Mhm.
back when
Mhm.
their heydays. So I'm like,
Mhm.
sorry
Do
guys,
do you remember that show, Believe It or Not?
Ripley's Believe It or Not, yeah,
Yeah, I
I
remember
see.
that show.
I loved that show because it presented something to you,
yeah,
and you take what you want from it.
period.
But this is not how it was presented in Search Of.
New.
You know,
They,
this
they
was this was not a Believe It or Not moment.
no. They said this is what we have. This is what
Yeah.
our scientists say. We are not trying to make you believe this. We are simply presenting the facts as we have them. Period.
Mhm. And if it wasn't worthy of them to bring it to television,
Oh,
then they wouldn't have.
mm-mm.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. Everybody's just gonna have to take away from it what you feel, what you, what you feel about it. I'm already like this. I'm like, it's just another stab, you
Yeah.
know. And I
Actually,
don't.
I don't know. I kind of like that this film is coming out because I think it's the very wake up call that this community needed. It's the wake up call. It's the call to arms. It's the message that
Yeah.
says we as a Bigfoot community need to graduate. We need to move beyond just discussing our thoughts, theories, stories, exchanging pictures or videos. I think we
Mhm.
need to go level up to the next level. And this movie was the wake up call. I
Yeah.
think we're no longer in the realm of researching Bigfoot or investigating Bigfoot. I think we're past that. I think now, folks, we need to destroy Bigfoot.
I don't know about the destroying, but we need to hunt.
We need to get a body. We need to hunt it down and we need to destroy it.
Here's the one problem I got with that though. You'll get stuff like that show Killing Bigfoot that was on for about half a season or whatever it was. You got to put a bunch of rednecks out in the woods with guns. Does
Yeah.
Mountain Monsters ring a bell there a little bit? I was
Yes.
surprised nobody got shot in that show.
Well, yeah.
I,
I mean,
Johnny Joe,
but
propose.
that's the whole thing. I'm not out there to destroy them.
You,
I'm
I
out
don't
there to
want to.
figure out what makes them tick. You
Yeah.
know, what is their purpose? You know, because we know that every animal, every insect, everything has a purpose except for maybe a mosquito. All right, mosquito doesn't have a purpose, but that's besides the point. Or a tick. There's the other one. But they all have a purpose. But what is their purpose in our ecosystem? What are they put here for? If we're talking that they are flesh and blood, because I don't know. I think there's a lot more to this. I think this is just another jab at this whole film. I think this is just it's not to raise awareness or to let people know something and some information that could be
No.
crucial. It's nothing like that. This is
Money
just
grab.
another, yeah, it's a money grab and something to take a stab at the community. Now, I would like to see how this is done because I want to know if they're taking a stab at the whole community
Or is it just taking a stab at that thing? And once again,
or at the film.
we don't know
Because
that they're really taking a stab at the film or not per se, or they're just presenting this stuff and getting stuff from the family itself, of which they're only getting it from one of them. So, and
yeah,
he's already
one.
disgruntled. So,
Right. If you already have one family member who's disgruntled, why are they giving all this information? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Why are they giving the information?
exactly.
Why wouldn't you be able to talk to anyone in the family? There's
Yeah,
only one. So that lets you know a great big deal right there that the family didn't agree with this documentary. And the only one that would do it is the one that has problems with
yeah,
the whole film thing. So that tells you a lot because they probably didn't feel that it was going in the direction that gave their loved ones justice. You know, that there could be some fake things. I'm just going to say fake testimony in this documentary. Just saying. But I mean, that's, again, we'll all have to watch it and we'll all have to talk about it. But like I said, I'm almost to the point where I don't even care. This is, you're not going to make me believe one way or another.
No.
I have looked at that film over the years, many thousands of times. Whatever. They couldn't even make.
It's time we got ourselves the body, Brandy. It's time we got ourselves the body.
That's what I said. If I mean, but then again, if we got the body, this is what I'm saying. If we got the body, who would say that we'd still be in possession of it or have any say about what happens to it or get any recognition for what happens? Because this is not what this is going to go by lightly. I mean, you can go back and look at Roswell. I mean, everyone who happened to have been at Roswell was shut down for decades.
Oh, yeah.
And weren't even recognized or anything until after these people had passed away. They're gone. So they cannot say one way or another what happened. They have a few testimonies, but that's about it. And who's to say those weren't, messed with a little bit, omitting a little bit of information. But I mean, it's going to be something else. I'm going to try to watch it. Now, I can't watch it because tomorrow night, Blondes and Boos are on at 8 p.m. Central. So I won't be able to watch it then. But everybody just, give us a comment tomorrow on this show from tonight. Give us a comment what you think about it if you watch it.
Yeah, give us your own little micro review. Let us know.
Yes, and let me know what you think, because I know, that we're believers here. We're knowers here. We're looking for something of the unexplained, and that's what we're doing. So watch it tomorrow. Come back to the show tomorrow night, and then just put a comment in and let us know what you think. And let me know what part that you think was the best, the worst, or just total crap. Just let us know. We want to hear it, because I am, this is one of those things that people should, not really push if they're not for real about it. If they're just trying to put something out for shock value. This is not one of those things, because people are very serious about their Sasquatch. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So,
if you do end up with a body, just to let everybody know, if you do end up with a body and the men in black come in and they try to swipe the body, make sure you're carrying some shears in your pocket, cut a finger off and put it in your pocket, so that way you got it back. You got some backup, okay? I'll say that.
There will be signs if I do it. Oh, what happened to that piece?
Oh.
I don't know.
Maybe it got bit off by the dog that came by. The dog man that came through here.
I don't know what happened to it. And it's not saying that I'm going to go out there and kill one. But God, people don't think that that's what we're talking about. That's not exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about, Donnie, what we're talking about is the fact of this is what it's coming down to for evidence for people to actually believe, not even believe, but to know. This is what it's coming down to. And the more and more research that I'm doing, I'm digging into history. This is where it's coming in thick, that I kind of figure that the government is hiding this kind of stuff is because there is information that they don't want to be let out. It's kind of like the alien thing. Information they don't want to let out. That's why when the government said, hey, aliens are real, but we're only going to tell you about this much. That's all we're going to tell you. And that's so far, that's all we've gotten, everybody.
I wouldn't rely on the government for anything like that. They could barely even fill potholes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you are so right. You are so right.
Yeah,
so,
I'm pretty sure they're not going to. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but I just make sure that you're watching it and with an open mind, which you know what, it's going to be, I'm one of the hardest ones that it's going to be for, and I'm going to do it. So you go ahead and do it. and let us know what you think. So just like I said, come back, put it in the comments in the show, and we'll take a read of them, and and maybe next week we'll come back in the first 10 minutes or so, and we'll talk about what everybody thought about.
Maybe one of these weeks when we come back with all three of us, we'll have watched the show the movie by then, and we'll give our own thoughts.
Tomorrow. I know that.
Yeah. And for those of you who are watching, who do watch the film and do feel, I guess, hurt by it, or
Me.
just feel attacked by it, all I can say to you is that, well, Bigfoot's not going to unalive himself. Get to it.
I am not. I'm not going to do it, but all I'm saying is that I will have some baggies and stuff in the car.
Evidence bag.
Because I'm just saying, because I'm telling you, all Bigfoot investigators have this baggie with tweezers and gloves and the whole 9 yards to collect evidence.
Yep.
I have that. Thank you. I may not have the whole thing, but I'll have enough.
I don't. I'm going to pee on it and claim it as mine.
He's going to ruin it all. He's just going to combine the DNAs. That's it. It's all going to be contaminated.
Mine.
It's mine. All right, everybody. Thank you for everybody tuning in. I know this was a show that was kind of heated, but it is a kind of a heated subject, and this is what's going around in the community today. And we just wanted to give you just a little bit of what's happening. That's why we're kind of all on different sides here and trying to, figure out what's happening, because this is what's going on in the community. And make up your own mind and leave your comment on this show after you watch it. So thank you, everybody. And we're going to say good night and see everybody on Blondes and Boos tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central.
Night.